What happens when you combine unlimited wealth, power, and a twisted mind with an insatiable appetite for sickness and perversion? You get 120 assault charges with decades of unspeakable crimes under your belt. Today, we're talking about one of the most despicable and disgraced people in the entire music industry, Puff Daddy, or P. Diddy, or whatever the hell he wants to identify as these days. This is quite different than what we normally do on Finding Freedom, and I usually have no interest in celebrity news or gossip, but this is a case worth studying. And it's important to shed the light on how corrupt Hollywood and the music industry really are, and how messed up the people inside of it can truly be. I'd like to tear the facade of glamour and elegance that they portray. But I do want to advise you that the themes discussed in today's video are graphic and disturbing, so viewer discretion is advised. Welcome to Finding Freedom. Welcome back to Finding Freedom, the show that empowers you to become the freest version of yourself, one critical question at a time. By now, everyone has heard about Diddy and all of the disgusting alleged crimes he committed. He was once seen as a music icon and one of the most prominent figures in the entire industry. But now he stands accused of over 120 assault charges, including horrifying allegations involving minors, some as young as 9 years old. Yes, 9. If these allegations are true, this guy is truly sickening in every sense of the word and should get no less than life in prison. These allegations are not just about physical violence. They paint a picture of someone who's manipulated, coerced, and abused those around him for decades. The question on everyone's mind is, how could someone like Diddy operate for so long without facing the consequences of his actions? The answer, without a doubt, lies in the powerful network of accomplices and enablers who helped him cover up his crimes, allowing him to continue these unspeakable acts. Now, just to give you a bit of a background about who this Diddy guy is, his father, Melvin Earl Combs, was associated with the infamous New York City drug lord Frank Lucas, and he was fatally shot at the age of 33 in 1972 after a failed drug deal, and he was actually mistaken for a police informant. Diddy built his empire with Bad Boy Records, a label that quickly became synonymous with success in the rap industry. But beneath the surface, his rise was filled with corruption, manipulation, and an insatiable hunger for power. I actually want to talk about a side of Diddy's legacy that often goes unspoken, forgotten, or simply ignored. But it's crucial to understand, and it's his alleged connection to the murders of Tupac Shakur and Biggie Smalls. Both iconic rappers, Tupac and Biggie, had a famous rivalry, one that was exacerbated by their respective labels and fueled by the media. Behind the scenes, however, it's widely believed that they may have actually had respect for one another, possibly even a friendship. But the pressure from the industry, the labels, and Diddy himself pushed this rivalry into seriously dangerous territory. I think it's fair to say that Diddy had a vested interest in seeing Tupac eliminated. And it's not necessarily a matter of speculation. In 2009, Keefe D, a known member of the Crips, confessed to the FBI that Diddy paid him $1 million to take out Tupac. The FBI, in a calculated move, granted Keefe D immunity in exchange for his confession. But there was a catch. Of course there was. The immunity deal only protected him as long as his confession stayed within the confines of the interrogation room. In a twist of fate, Keefe D, perhaps out of arrogance or sheer foolishness, started going on interviews, openly bragging about how he was the one that killed Tupac. This boasting ultimately led to his arrest, as he had violated the terms of his immunity agreement. While Diddy's alleged role in Tupac's murder is damning enough, his actions surrounding Biggie Smalls' death are just as sinister. Diddy discovered Biggie when he was still a young talent, freestyling on the streets of Brooklyn. Recognizing his potential, Diddy signed Biggie to Bad Boy Records, and together they created some of the most iconic tracks in hip-hop history. Biggie quickly became one of the biggest stars in the industry, bringing massive success and profit to Diddy's label. But as Biggie's fame grew, so did his ambitions, and he began exploring offers from other record labels, threatening to leave Bad Boy behind. For Diddy, obviously this was an unacceptable risk. Losing Biggie would mean losing not only his main star, but millions of dollars in the process. So when Biggie was on the verge of leaving, Diddy had a clear incentive to eliminate him. By doing so, he could retain control of Biggie's music and profits. After Biggie's murder, Diddy capitalized on the tragedy, releasing posthumous albums that earned millions. It's pretty crazy to think that while the world was mourning Biggie's death, Diddy was profiting from his legacy. And just like Tupac, the motive for Diddy's involvement in Biggie's murder seems incredibly obvious: money and control. But even beyond these notorious alleged murders, Diddy's personal relationships raise a lot of questions and a lot of eyebrows. One of the most peculiar examples is his connection with Usher, who was just 13 when he started spending time with Diddy. The two of them openly discussed how they spent nights together, which now, in hindsight, suggests a very weird dynamic to say the least. And the pattern continued with Justin Bieber, another young star who was under Diddy's influence and mercy. Looking back at old footage and interviews, it's quite impossible to ignore the signs that Bieber, like Usher, may have been taken advantage of.
Got me a Lamborghini.
Oh, that's nice.
I haven't gotten it yet, though.
Yeah. When is that coming, that Lamborghini? We talked about this last
He
time.
had the Lamborghini for a day or two, and he had access to the house, and he knows better than to be talking about the things that he does with Big Brother Puff on national television.
The power imbalance was quite obvious, and with the benefit of hindsight, the dynamics are really disturbing. Diddy's long history of violence and abuse also extends to his ex, Cassie. For years, she endured physical and emotional abuse, forced into humiliating acts against her will. When he realized he was caught on tape brutally beating her in the lobby of a Los Angeles hotel, he paid $50,000 to acquire the footage and make it disappear. My question is, who at the hotel sold that tape to Diddy? And why haven't they been held accountable? Why hasn't the entire management team been brought in for questioning and have the people responsible prosecuted for concealing evidence? There's no way you could deny that there's a whole network of people protecting him, enabling him to continue his reign of terror and disgusting crimes. What we see now is just the tip of the iceberg. There are undoubtedly many more names tied to Diddy's crimes, well-known figures who have been complicit in his actions or have their own dark secrets to hide. The entertainment industry has long been plagued by figures like Diddy, Harvey Weinstein, Bill Cosby, and the list goes on and on and on. These are psychopaths who use their wealth, fame, and power to abuse and control others without fear of consequence. When immense resources are combined with twisted, sick desires, the results are really terrifying. These individuals see themselves as untouchable, and for years, they were. The fallout from Diddy's arrest is sending shockwaves through Hollywood, with music mogul Clive Davis reportedly in full-blown panic mode. Davis, who helped launch Diddy's career, is now fearing that his own past with the rapper could come to light, as a top attorney warns more high-profile names will soon be implicated in a new wave of lawsuits. According to insiders, Davis is not sleeping well and is haunted by memories of his time with Diddy. This scandal, which already involves charges of sex trafficking, racketeering, and prostitution, is being compared to the Jeffrey Epstein case, with investigators suggesting it could expose even more powerful figures. Hollywood elites are reportedly quaking in their boots over what might come next, as the situation threatens to unravel a much bigger story behind the scenes. What you need to understand and realize is that this isn't just a matter of individual names. It's about an entire industry filled with corruption. It's a satanic culture where people are coerced, blackmailed, and filmed in compromising situations only to be used later as leverage for deals, roles, and power. I have no doubt in my mind that there are so many celebrities right now, as we speak, living in fear, praying to God that their names don't come out in connection with Diddy's crimes. These atheists probably started believing in God once and for all. They know what's at stake, and they know their time is up. Diddy's connection to high-level politicians and influential figures makes this even more chilling. Much like Jeffrey Epstein, who had ties to people like the Clintons, Diddy's connections go way beyond music. And just like Epstein, who allegedly took his own life, Diddy has been placed on suicide watch. But we've seen this play out before. Epstein didn't take his own life. For anyone who could put two and two together, he was silenced before he could expose the others involved. Is the same being prepared for Diddy? Are we being conditioned to preemptively accept the possibility of his suicide before he can start naming names and throwing the people that protected him under the bus? By now, it should be painfully clear that celebrities, especially ones like this guy, are certainly not worthy of any type of praise or adoration they receive. These so-called role models are nothing more than psychopaths who have spent years using and abusing those around them without consequence. Being tied to their art or their fame does nothing more than damage the soul. Let this be a lesson. No man is infallible. It's only a matter of time before the full truth comes out, not only about Diddy, but about all the twisted individuals hiding behind their wealth and fame. Even those in the highest positions of power will eventually be exposed. No matter how big your empire is, and no matter how much power you think you have, one day you're going to wake up and you're going to realize it's no longer yours. The only guarantee of power is that one day you will lose it. The reckoning is coming, and it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. These Hollywood elites and corrupt people in power, whether in front of our eyes or behind the scenes, think that they're free. But the reality is that they're slaves. They're slaves to their twisted desires and their messed up fantasies. They're slaves to some of the darkest and most corrupt systems that could possibly exist. They've sold their souls to fame and to worldly possessions. They've essentially sold their soul to the devil. True freedom is freedom of the soul. If you truly are free, you can't be bought or sold. Thank you for watching this episode of Finding Freedom. Stay critical, stay curious, and most importantly, stay free.